Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another one of my shows. It's Friday. I love Fridays because I get the weekend off. I don't know about you lot, but this week has gone so quick. I don't know where it's gone, but I'm here anyway. It's Friday night, let's get started. So, quite a lot of chat tonight, which is great. So thank you all very much. You're giving me some work. Okay, so we've got D. Harris saying evening, Alex. Thank you very much, D. Thanks for being here. We have Mark's Mods. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Mark. Thank you. We've got D. Evening, Mark's Mods. Hope you're well. DS Models and Vintage. Hi, Horlixs. Hope you're well. Thank you very much. Hi, Dave. Warren, hi all. So hi Warren, thank you for joining. Mark's Mods, evening at D Harris. He's good. How are you? So it's nice chatting amongst yourselves. Mark says evening at DS Models and Vintage. So that's all cool. Mark's Mods says evening at Warren James. Dano's Universe. Hello everyone watching the show while I get ready to go out tonight with my dad. Okay, well have a nice evening. And catch up with you soon. Mark's Mods is evening at Dano's Universe, and Dave McBuilds, evening Horlixs, and everyone in the chat. We got Dano's Universe. Hello, Mark. D. Harris, evening at Dave Mac. Dave Mac says evening at D. And D. Harris says Mark's Mods, all good, mate. Feet up, YouTube time. Yeah, definitely. D also says evening everyone in the chat. Jay's channel says good evening all, hope everyone's okay and well. So hi Jay, hope you're doing okay. Dano's Universe says I love that intro, it's cool. Thank you. It's not one of my best. I need to make another intro for general because I've got themed ones. I had the old one that I've been using for the Routemaster, which I probably could have used tonight, but and then I have the Spitfire one, which I really like. I need to do more of a general one. I'll be making other people them, and I need to make one for myself at some point. D. Harris also says love that intro. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I just said, it's not my best. Alex Jameson says hey, hiya, how are you? And Yorkshire Crafter says hi everyone. So hi Julie. Verwayne, hi all. Hi Verwayne, how are you? We've got Dave McBuilds. Good evening to all on the other side. Yeah, definitely. And Crafty Chris, hello Horlixs and everyone in chat. Hi Chris, thanks for joining. And D. Harris says at DS Models and Vintage, a Yorkshire Crafter. Good evening both. And we've got D. Harris at Dano's Universe and Crafty Chris. Good evening. Chat is jumping like mad. Yorkshire Crafter, evening at D. Harris. And Jordy Dave says hi Horlixs. So hi Jordy. And Dano's Universe says hello D. Right, so I'm going to leave chat there for the moment. And I think we better get on with a bit of a show. So as the title suggests, it's a couple of thank yous, and I'm just going to go over the Routemaster mod that I did. Can't really see because my logo's in the way. the switches on there. I just want to do more of a, it's not going to be a hands-on, it's just going to be more of a show and tell with pictures and things, just so you get a shorter video, hopefully. So I'm going to go as quick as I can, but as detailed as I can. Anyway, thank yous. The first big thank you, not in any particular order, but I'm going to do this one first because of how it's going to go. The first big thank you is to, and he's in the chat, D. Harris, and thank you very much. Now, as some of you are aware, I do the Northern Model Builders and Crafters group on a Sunday, which is actually on this Sunday. Now, I'm fairly new to plastic model kits, and I don't know if I've got it here, but I've been doing the mini. Maybe a lot of screen tearing as well. I've been doing the mini, and I've been getting a bit disheartened with it because although I've been enjoying it, I'm having a problem with the paint. And I mean, there's an example there. I'm painting parts and the paint's just coming off. You just knock the parts. I mean, I lightly scratched that with my nail and the paint just comes straight off. I thought I did everything I had to do. I washed the plastic parts, and yeah, I don't know. I think it was down to the paint. You get little tubs of paint. One, there isn't enough. And then to top it off, because I'm so inexperienced, I was using some black primer, which I have been informed is actually for a spray, for a spray brush, airbrush, sorry. So that's not really the right thing to be using either. So anyway, this is the second thank yous to Mark's Mods for being in the middle and helping it happen. Dee actually contacted Mark because Dee wanted to send some funds over to Mark for Mark to pass on to me so that I could buy the right stuff that I had in my wish list. So I will move my camera down and then we can show you my little haul. So Dee has got me some, I've gone with the Humbrol range, some acrylic primer, so I can prepare the kit, wash it as you need to, because obviously it comes with like an oily substance on to get it out of the molds. So I need to clean it, and then I can spray a light spray of this this primer on. I mean, again, I'm new to all this, so I'm going to see how this goes. So I've got a tin of primer. I also got a tin, a bottle of clear gloss varnish. So this will help protect the paint once I've painted it. And I've seen some really good tricks. I've been watching the Humbrol YouTube page. Now, I will cover this when I get around to doing it. But when you on the models, you get like the clear parts. Now, if you actually get a pair of tweezers and dunk these parts into this clear gloss varnish and pull it out and leave it to dry, these go really nice, and I could see the results. It makes them look like glass rather than just clear plastic. So I'm going to do that and see how it comes out. It looked amazing. So this is to protect the paint and to do the windows and clear bits of the model, and then a load of paint, all the paints that I need for this model. So I've gone by, this is the what the mini's going to look like, and I've gone by the colors here. So I've got the 130, which is the white satin, and then I've got 69, which is the yellow, which we need. And what number is this one? Number 21. This is the gloss black. Okay, and then I've got number 53, which is the gunmetal metallic. And yeah, I also got the number 11, and that is a silver metallic. Oh, sorry, bashing the camera. And then this is 33, which is, I believe, a matte black. Yeah, matte black. So again, thank you so much, D Harris. He's in the chat for this little haul to get me started. So I've got the proper, some proper stuff to be using to have another go at this model. So I've already decided, because I've already painted some of the parts, what I'm actually going to do for this model is just touch up the scratch marks as I have been doing. Then I'm going to wait for that to set, and then I'm going to try some gloss varnish on it just to protect that paint, because that's the interior, and then hopefully leave it, and that'll protect the paint. And then when I do the unpainted parts, I will then start using the primer and, starting from scratch. So that is that. So thank you so much for that. And let's change camera again. Woo. So yeah, again, thank you, Dee, for that, and thank you, Mark, for being the middleman and making that happen and doing the transfers and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. So that is that. So before I go on to the next, I see the chat's gone absolutely mad. I'll just go through the chat and catch up. So we've got D Harris saying evening, Geordie Dave, evening. We've got Mark's Mods, hello to everybody in chat. Geordie Dave says hi, D Harris. DS Models and Vintage says hi, everyone in chat. Geordie Dave says hi, all in chat. D Harris says Mark's my middleman. Yeah, thank you very much. Verwayne says hi, Geordie Dave. David Bassett says good evening at Horlixs, DS Models and Vintage, D Harris, Mark's Mods, Geordie Dave, Crafty Chris, Yorkshire Crafter, Dano's Universe, and everyone in the chat that he has missed. So hi, David Bassett, thank you for joining. D Harris says evening at David Bassett. And Geordie Dave says off out now, we'll catch up on the show later. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. I'm off for a drink with my son. Yeah, brilliant. I hope you have a good night. Crafty Chris says good evening, David. Mark Moss says evening at David Bassett. Geordie Dave says hi, Verwayne and David Bassett. Yorkshire Crafter says evening at David Bassett. D Harris says see you later at Geordie Dave. And Yorkshire Crafter says evening, Crafty Chris and Verwayne. Chat keeps jumping. David Bassett, that's really kind of you, D Harris, for supplying all that toys. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. And I was just at the end of my tether with it, and I was on the verge of giving up, to be honest. I couldn't, because you know what I'm like with wiring and electronics, and I like things to go right. And I have got a lot of patience, don't get me wrong. I have got a lot of patience, but I think I must have done about 8-9 coats on that Mini now. Yeah, about 8 or 9 coats, and I'm like, it's just scratching off. And I was just getting a bit frustrated with it. So hopefully, now I've got all the right tools to do a proper job. D Harris says, when you see a better result on the paintwork, maybe more plastic is, yeah, definitely. And I've been watching DS Models and Vintage's channel, and he's been reviewing the some of those model kits, and yeah, I fancy one, if I'm honest. I do fancy one. Verwayne says hi, Yorkshire Crafter and Crafty Chris. Chris says hello at Verwayne. Dano's Universe says hello, David Bassett. And Mark Small says good evening on the other side. Right. God, what a load of chat. Okay, my next thank you, and I've not seen him in the chat yet. A big thank you, and this is long overdue because I've had this a couple of weeks now. Ian at Partwork Upgrades has sent me this builder's cushion. It's handmade and it's absolutely amazing. I've not had a chance to use it yet because, as you know, the Spitfire's on hold, and I've not had anything to use on it, but this will come in handy. So as you can see, it's got power upgrades written on there. And yeah, really nice and soft. This is going to protect your models and your paintwork. and that will just lay on the desk, and then I can do builds on it. So thank you so much, Ian at partworkupgrades.com. And on the back of that, Ian has obviously also supplied me with the Terminator power mod, which I purchased. That has been absolutely fantastic because the batteries were just a nightmare. So that's 100% recommended. You know, that has been amazing because I can have that on now without worrying about batteries. So that is all plugged in, and that was supplied by Ian at partworkupgrades.com. You can't really tell, but you can just about see, and we're going to go through this tonight anyway. The Routemaster up there, that is running off of Ian's power mod that was supplied to me. So thank you so much, Ian, for that. And yeah, you can see actually I've added another shelf now, and I've put my DeLorean up. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of make use of the space the best I can. So so thank you, Ian, for supplying all this. Now, what I will say is if you go over to partworkupgrades.com, you'll find so many mods, it's unbelievable. You know, just to name a few, you've got blueprints, power mods, the builder's cushions, there's there's printed parts and modifications for the Terminator. I believe there's some Titanic parts on there. Everything's on there. So please go and check out Ian at partworkupgrades.com. Link is in the description below. Yeah, I'm really excited to also announce that he's selected me to be an ambassador slash influencer, if you like, for partworkupgrades.com. And so thank you so much for the opportunity for that. And this ticker here, you can get 15% off your order with partworkupgrades.com. All you have to do is go shopping, and then at the checkout, just use promo code PRM002, as it says here. It's also in the description of the video. So if you're interested in any of these mods or any anything, the builder's cushion, head over there and have a look. Yeah, so that is that. So I'll leave that running for a moment, and let's go back to a few comments we've had. So we've just had Dave Matt Builds saying evening at Mark's Mods, and Mark's Mods saying evening at Dave Matt Builds. A lot of highs, it's great. A lot of highs, a lot of chat. So thank you all very much for your input. So that being said, I will now go on to what I'm going to talk about tonight. So we are going to, I just want to run through the Routemaster base mod. Now, since I did that video, I've had quite a few messages and things about the mod and questions. And I mean, if someone wants to help me out. I mean, I've had a few people suggest that I do this as a kit, but I don't really think I don't know how to do that. I don't think I can do that because a lot of it involves soldering, and it's just, I don't know, it's just the way I've done it. So especially getting the wires through from the bus to the base. Now I need to thank again Ian at Power Upgrades for that, because I would never have thought of that. And then after fitting his power mods, that's when my cogs started turning and thinking, oh, I could use that and take advantage of that idea and fit my switch. So, you know, I can't put a plug on anything because it won't go through those holes. So that's what makes this really difficult, you know, especially for the people that may not feel confident in soldering or can't solder, or, you know, so I can't see a way of doing a mod for this, unfortunately, at the moment. You know, I am still thinking about it. But anyway, let me quickly go through what I did. So let's change camera. So the whole idea of it is, for me, you can do this different ways. You can do, you don't have to do the way I'm suggesting. You've got options. So first of all, I didn't really document too well about how I did it on the actual bus itself. But let's talk from the start, the wiring. So I've used JST connectors. Now, obviously the bus, I've put 3 switches on the base to control the lighting only. So in order to do that, I've had to intercept the cables that go into the Routemaster circuit board. Okay, so you've got 2 options to do this. You can either unplug the switch from the bus off the circuit board. You could then plug one of these JST connectors in. This is a JST micro, and then you could run a switch directly out. The problem with that is you're going to lose functionality of the switches on the bus, which I don't think is fair. It's a lovely model as it is. It doesn't really, and I think by taking that away, you would, I don't know, I don't think that would be the right thing to do. So to get around that, you're going to need a male JST connector and a female JST connector, micros. And we are going to connect red to red, black to black. Now this is where it's going to need soldering. And then at the same time as you're soldering those back together, you're going to want some more cable. You're going to need some cabling. Now it doesn't really matter what you use. Thinner the better for the bus. And then you're also going to attach a wire coming off of there and a wire coming off of there. So I hope that sort of makes sense. So you're going to have female, male, 2 wires spurring off. So these are going to intercept this run. Obviously make this as small as possible. As small as you can get it. You only want a little bit. So if I fold that up, you're looking about that sort of length with your wires coming off. These need to be long. So what that will do is allow us to replace the plug in the circuit board with our newly made plug. The female side will then accept the original plug that came out of the circuit board. So this is your switch on the Routemaster, for example. Now, the plugs on the circuit board are as follows. Plug A is the lights for the interior of the bus, so upper and lower deck lights, and the indicators and the headlights, etc. The plug L is the destination blinds, and M, which is the one I forgot about, M is the cab light. There's a cab light. And then what we do is we plug these, take this out of A, for example, plug our newly made adapter into plug A, and then we'll plug that into the female. Okay, so that is then in the bus, looking like that, basically, if I hide that. So that'll be coming from the bus, the original wiring, go into there, into the bus, and then we'll have 2 wires coming off. So that's going to intercept these. So this will allow us to add another switch on here, but maintaining the operation of the actual bus with the original buttons in the bus as well. So that's what I've done. So you want 3 of these. I've only done the lights. If you want to do the engine sounds, I don't know the plug offhand for that, but it can be found out. You'd add a 4th one of these. So you need 1 of these for each switch you want on your base. Okay. Right. So let me skip forward. So once you've done the wiring, that is that. I hope that made sense. You will. Right, let me share the screen now. And I've got a few pictures to show. So here we go. This is the me fitting the partwayupgrades.com power mod. Now, as you can see, I'm wiring in that. I have got a video on that of installing that. Okay. Now, what you do is you see that the power leads are going through the bottom screw holes. So what I've done with the my switches is I've run 6 wires through with that one, with the positive there. I've just run it. I've got you need to have really thin wires to do that. You could use both holes if you wanted to. Either way, you just need to get all your wires through there if you want it done neatly and discreet. Okay, so once you've plugged in your connections and then run the bare wires down through these holes, you'll end up with a nice cover as Ian designed with the power mod. Plus, you'll have 6 wires, loose wires coming out at the. You'll have all the 6 wires coming out as well as the power. So what I then chose to do, this was my underneath the bus. After I fitted the power mods, you can see here, I've got Ian's power mods coming through, which I've, you know what my wiring's like, I'm Mr. Neat. I've ran that through into his supply plug, which comes as part of the power mod. And you'll notice here that I've got my 6 cables running through from my adapters that I just showed you. Now, these are very thin wires. So what I've done is I've protected them by putting 2 lots of cable grips on there, just so that it doesn't get snagged, because the holes can be a little bit sharp and I don't want to sort of snag that and break it and undo everything I've done. So that's what I've done. So what you then need to do is, with those 6 cables, or 8 or 10, however you want to do it, depending on how many switches you want, you need 2 pins per switch, obviously. I've used this connector here. So this was it done. This was before that image where I tidied everything up under here, because this was work in progress. But the 6 wires come down. So again, you want quite a bit of length on there. Too much length is fine, because you can cut it down until you've worked out what you want to do. This is just what I've done. You've got your 6 wires coming down, and then I've got myself a 6-pin aviation plug. Now this comes in a kit. You get the plug and the female end to plug into, and if you're building the Spitfire, you'll be familiar with this sort of plug, because it's what we use when we sit the Spitfire on its display base. So as you can see, I've got a 6-pin, so I've got 3 sets of 3 pairs. So switch 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you wanted to add a 4th switch, you would get a 8-pin one of these. If you wanted to add 5 switches, you would get a 10-pin, etc. Okay. And that is how I wired the bus. It's as easy as that. I know, it may not look as easy as that, but it's a fairly simple principle. Because the Routemaster works in such a way that you make contact, a bit like a PC when you hit your power button. It makes a momentary connection between the 2 pins, and it tells the circuit board to turn the lights on. Okay. What I did next was start preparing the base. Now, I've got a David Buckingham base, which I'll go into just before I finish the show. And you'll see that shortly anyway. But this is the female end of that aviation plug I just mentioned. And again, you want to run solder 6 wires from this. This was a live stream I did. So if you want to see this in action, me actually doing this and testing, I did it on the Routemaster Special episode 2, which you'll find on my YouTube channel. So yeah, what I did was solder the 6 wires on. Now these wires were quite thick. This was actually speaker cable I had lying about, so that's what I used. I haven't actually got a roll of cable. I'd like to get a couple of rolls of cable this sort of size, to be honest. Which oh no, you can't even see what I'm doing. I need to find out what gauge this is, and I think I know Ian's going to know the answer to this. But I think I'm going to try and get all these little projects I'm doing. I need to get a roll of this cable. The wires I use from the bus is a bit thinner than this, but this would be sort of ideal. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So yeah, soldered on the 6 wires, use speaker wire. And then what we did then, once that's all done, buttoned up, and we've got good connections, double check your work, make sure there's no shorts between the pins, because it'll make your bus go AWOL. It will actually freeze the bus, and I'll explain that in a bit. This is the David Buckingham base. So I drilled a 12mm hole, and then I fed the cables that I just soldered onto that female plug through the hole from the top side. And then that is the plug in place on the base. Okay. Now, these plugs, as you can see, have got threads on. Unfortunately, the base was a little bit too thick to allow me to put the nut on to hold that in securely. So all I did was use hot glue. I took this out a bit, put some hot glue inside the hole and pushed it in, and it's not moved an inch. So that's what I've done. Now this picture's a little bit blurry, I'm afraid, but what you can see there is the female plug fitted in the top of the base, and then I've tidied the wires up and run them round with some cable tidies, which were hot glued on. Run them round, and then run the cables through 3 holes which I drilled. Again, these are 3 12mm holes that I've drilled, and they are the diameter of the switch. Now you might, depending on what switches you buy, I will show you the ones that I bought shortly, but it should tell you the diameter of the switches. So you need the correct drill bit for whatever switch you're using. In my case, I was using 12mm. It just so happened the aviation plug and the switches were both 12mm, so I only had to buy one drill. One drill bit. So run the 3 cables through. Now, obviously, when you're doing this, keep testing and mark up what set of wires are doing what at the bus. Okay, and then at this point, once your wires are through, this is where you then need to solder on your switches. Now, these are momentary switches, not like toggle switches. They have to be momentary switches. Now, if you don't use momentary switches, what will happen is it will freeze the bus. So it hasn't damaged it, and it won't damage it. But if you go to test the theory on your bus, if you turn on the interior lights, you'll see that the indicators blink. Next time you turn your bus on, if you hold that button in, you'll notice that the lights will come on in the inside, but the indicators will freeze. And they'll either freeze off or freeze on until you release the switch, and then the indicators start blinking. That's just the nature of it, how it works. That's how the circuit board works. So these need to be momentary switches, so they make a brief connection and then let go. That is what you need for this mod. So they need to be momentary switches. Please make sure they are momentary switches. I can't stress that enough. Otherwise, you will have issues and it will not work. Okay. So once we've soldered the switches in, again, I've just pushed them through. Again, as you can see, they've got threads, but unfortunately the nut wouldn't fit because of the thickness of the wood on the base. So I've just run some hot glue just in these holes and then pushed the switch in. They haven't moved. And then I've just tidied up the cables underneath, as you can see, bit of hot glue there, cable tidy, made it all look neat. You don't want this dragging on your shelf or anything, or wherever you're going to position the bus. And that was the final result with the 3 switches in. So they are running from there under the base to all the way to the plug, which you can see here. So that'll be switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, however you've wired it. Okay, that being done, we then fit the bus back on our base, and then the aviation plug that we made earlier, as you can guess, will fit into the female of the base, like so. Now, the reason for this, and the reason I've done this, is because if we need to, and actually I did have to do this because I had a problem with my fog light. If you want to remove the bus from the base, you're going to be tied up with wires. So if I made the wire come through and down into there without a connector, you're not going to be able to lift the bus off the base, and it's going to make it awkward. Now, saying that, you don't have to use this type of plug either. If you just want to get a rough and ready looking setup, there's nothing to stop you using, again, these. You could have 3 sets of these just between the bus and the base, and then you can unplug it that way, as long as you mark the cables up. But it'll just look a bit messy. So that's why I've gone with the aviation plug, because I think that just looks a bit neater. Okay, so that's what I've done. And then this was on the video where we tested it, and as you can see, it worked. And yeah, when I push the buttons on here now, it travels through the wiring on the base, up through that plug, and intercepts the switches. But again, you don't have to use these. If you wanted to control the lighting from the bus itself, you can still do that because of the way we've wired it. Okay, so that's just as quick as I could, overview of how this is going to work. And yeah, I hope that was helpful, and it's a little bit more condensed for you rather than watching the long video. So yeah. Now, let me go through the chat quick, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the parts I used, and then we'll wrap up the show. So, I'm back. So we've got a lot of chat come through, and we've got the half Zanny. Hi, Horlixs. Hello, Zanny. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. We've got hi Julie. Zanny says hi Julie. Zanny says hi Crafty Chris. David Bassett says all those power upgrade items look amazing. Well done at Ian Campbell. The Routemaster ones are fantastic. Yeah, they are absolutely fantastic, and amazing. I can't recommend them enough, honestly. Here's the ticker. Get 15% off your order. Just use promo code PRM002 in the at the checkout, and then enjoy 15% off. So thank you, Ian, for setting that up. Amazing. And I've also linked all this in the description below on the channel. Okay, Half Danny says thumbs up. Thank you very much, Danny. And Yorkshire Craft says hi, Danny. Hey, here's the man, Ian. Hi all. Thanks, David Bassett. And David Bassett says, Horlicks, that's my problem. I've never done any soldering. I'm really worried that I'll destroy the RM electrics. Now, all I can say to that is, you won't, because all of this soldering is out of the bus. You haven't got to solder anything on the bus itself. All you've got to do is use a multimeter to check your connections. So, and that is really easy to do. You're just going to use, God, my mind's gone blank. Continuity mode on a multimeter. And all that's going to do, and I don't even know where my multimeter is actually. When you make a connection, the multimeter is going to beep when there's a connection. So if you make all your wiring and then you probe the two wires on one plug, if you get a constant beep, it means you've got a short. If you don't, and then you push the button and then it beeps, that's fine. I mean, it's hard, I guess from someone who's not really done much in the way of electronics, it could be quite daunting, but yeah, you're not gonna destroy the electrics, because you're making these connectors so it's plug and play, so you haven't got to cut anything out of the actual, and if it doesn't work, you just replace what you've pulled out. But yeah, I'd give it a go. If you feel confident enough, I would give it a go. And there's plenty of people that help. D Harris says, good evening, Ian Campbell. How's you? Ian says, hey D Harris, all good, thanks, mate. You? Mark Moss says, evening, Ian Campbell. And we've got D Harris saying, feet up, time in, all good, thanks. Any company tonight. And Ian says, oh, yes, D. Yeah. Ian says, hi at Mark's Mods. And Ian says, Horlicks Gauge 26, mate. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to have a look for that. I'm going to get a couple of rolls of that thing. I need red and black. Dear Smiles Vintage, this is an excellent tutorial video too. Thank you so much for showing us this modification. No, you're welcome. And it was great. I did, because I had to watch the video back just before the stream, and on another account, because obviously there's a problem with YouTube at the moment, and I can't watch my own videos back. I'll just get a spinning wheel. And I had to take some screenshots that you've seen tonight, and yeah, I was watching that when we tested it, and gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh, that was amazing. It was so good. So D Harris says, you can get lengths of that cable on Amazon, different gauges available. I used it wiring the LEDs on the hood. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Lucas 1945, hi everybody. Hiya, that is David Buckingham. So I'm going to go on to you in a minute actually with the bass. So Crafty Chris says, hi Zanny. David Bassett says, thanks Horlicks for the advice. What about the near side light mod? Now, I don't think I documented that actually, but I know Jay's channel did a little tutorial. He printed something up. What I shall do for you is, I know you're a member of the Routemaster group. I will try and hunt out that file if Jay hasn't already beat me to it. He's done a tutorial that you can follow. And I think he may have even done a video on his channel about it. I think I was a bit late to the party on that one, and I did it off stream. But I'll try and find that document unless someone finds it before me, and we'll post it on the Routemaster group, and then you can have a look at it there. It's fairly straightforward to do. Let's say I did mine as well. And Dave McBells, I'm no brilliant at soldering, but I had to go with all the lights on the Titanic. Yeah, I'm not a professional solderer either. I mean, I hashed up a bit on the female plug, because the gauge of the wire was quite thick, and it was a bit too thick to be trying to get it on those pins, but I managed it. And the joy of heat shrink, the heat tubing, you can hide all sorts of sins with that and protect shorts. D. Harry says that David Bassett watched the video. It's easier than it sounds. Just take your time. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, back to what I wanted to say was I've only got a few minutes. So what I was going to say is about the base. This base you see here was made by David Buckingham. Now it was a limited run. And we got these on the first build with Hachette with these, and myself and Penny and some others were one of the first to get these. Absolutely brilliant base, absolutely perfect for moving the bus around. And yeah, it's they were only a limited run. The good news is, providing there's enough interest, David Buckingham has agreed to potentially make some more. He needs assurances because obviously he has to buy out of his own pocket all the materials. He uses very good quality wood, and as you can imagine, it's not cheap. So if you are interested in one of these bases, if you're building the Routemaster from Agora, head over to our Routemaster page. Again, that is linked in the description below. Head over there and show your interest on there. And so we can get some numbers of, how many bases, people would like. So that's all I can say on that. So yeah, if you are interested in this base, and again, it will go inside with the mod I've done. If you want to do that, then yeah, just show your interest on the Routemaster group, and yeah, we'll go from there. And then someone will give you an update on the progress of that. And likewise, I mean, if you haven't got the base and you want to do this switch mod, you still can. You could make yourself a little stand to put the buttons on. Might be easier, as long as you can mount the buttons somewhere. You could just have like a, just like a little wood control board or something, or 3D print something. There's something to hold the buttons in. So you can still do the mod even without the base. Anyway, I've gone on enough. I know DS Models and Vintage is planning to go live this evening. What I shall do is, just quickly before I go, here are the parts that I used for, that's not worked. These are the bits that I used, which you can get on Amazon. Now, if you use Banggood or something like that, you'll probably get this a lot cheaper. But all on Amazon. These are the connectors you need for my mod, and you get 20 pairs on here. These are JST JST2 Micro. Okay, so these are on Amazon, £7, 20 pairs. And that is what you're going to need to intercept the switches on the bus. Okay, these are the aviation connectors I used. Again, these are 6-pin. They're called aviation connector 6-pin. You've got different types. I'm wondering, you've got some look here that are 5-pin. You've got 4-pin. So yeah, you're going to have to have a look about and see what you need. This one is 16mm thread, so you need a 16mm drill bit for that one. But I guess there's more pins on it. So that is what I've used. So they were quite expensive at 13 quid, but again, I was in a rush to get this stuff. So I think if I would have gone to AliExpress or somewhere like that, Banggood, you'd probably get this a lot cheaper. So they are what they are, aviation connectors. And I actually got a bag of quite a few, as you can see. I couldn't find a single one. Okay, and then these are the switches I used, and as I mentioned, these are 12mm mini push button switch, and they're waterproof and they're momentary. That is important. They need to be momentary switches, and they were £9 for 5. Again, quite expensive, but they've been really good and quite nice quality. I liked the look of them, especially on the base. Okay, and there's they're the bits I used. They're the main bits you need. Obviously, apart from that, soldering iron and some cable to run to do the wiring with. Okay, so that's basically it. So hopefully that has answered a few more questions and made it a bit more easier to understand. So that's it. So let me go through a bit more of this chat. So David Bassett says, yes, yes, he did Horlixs, but missed out how to join up the additional light into the existing wiring layout on the bus. His little tutorial sheet didn't cover that bit. Right, okay. What did I do? Well, it depends how far you're in with the build. I mean, obviously, if you've built that now, it's going to be really difficult to go back and do that. But I can find out what if you do want to, if you're still planning to finish that mod, I will find out for you. I think you can tap it in. Where do you tap? Oh, you tap it into plug A, which is the lights, because A turns on the headlights and the indicators and everything else. So I wanted that side light mod to come on with the rest of that. So that would be plugged into the output of plug A. Plug A is the switch. So yeah, forget that. I'm getting a bit confused. I'll have to find out if you need to know that. David Bassett bit, sorry, typer. Yeah, that's no worries. D Harris says, Dave wouldn't say you're not good at soldering. You've done a good job with the lights on Titanic. Yeah, again, as long as it works, it doesn't matter what it looks like, And there's no rush. Just take your time. Solder melts. If it goes completely wrong, unsolder it. Do it again. Easy. Dave McBill says, thanks, Dave. I did my best for the first time. David Bassett says, yes, Horlixs is right. David Buckingham has built some really lovely bases. So if you want one, go for it. Definitely. Dave McBill says, Horlixs, you did a cracking job on your Routemaster mod. Thank you very much. Ian Campbell says, excellent at Horlixs. Thank you very much, Ian. DS Models of Vintage. I've put Fleetwood J sign-up mod on the Routemaster group. Thank you very much, Dave. That saved me a little job. Thank you. DS Models of Vintage. Excellent show. Thumbs up, please, everyone. And subscribe to Horlixs. Thanks for more great content and mods. No, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. And D. Harris says, nice wee stream, Alex. If I don't see you before, it'll be Sunday. Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. So on that, I'm going to go. I've gone. I knew I was only supposed to be doing a half-hour show. I thought, but you know what happens. So please head over to, I said last time, powerupgrades.com. If you want your 15% off, just use that code, promo code there, and it's also in the description, as well as all the links. In the description is the links to the parts I used for the mod, the Routemaster group. Everything is in the description that we've covered tonight. Okay. Now, Dave is planning to do a DS Models Vintage is planning a stream very shortly. And yeah, so please go over and support Dave. And I'm not sure what he's doing tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, go over and see DS Models Vintage. And if so that's that. Tomorrow is tomorrow night again will be DS Models Vintage doing one of his projects. Again, not quite sure which one yet, but just head over to him. I'm sure he'll explain all tonight. Sunday, we've got the Northern Model Builders and Crafters group. We're doing we're doing that on Sunday. That'll be at 8 o'clock. So come over and show your support there. Monday, we have Julie and Crafty Chris. Yorkshire Crafter and Crafty Chris. They'll be doing the Doll's House. That'll be on Monday night. So look forward to that. Tuesday night, we have Crafty Chris doing Build the Eddie Stobart. So looking forward to that as well. So head over and support there. Wednesday, myself, Mark, and Jackal TV are doing the Arduino show. Head over and check out that. Thursday, it's the Craft and Quiz with Yorkshire Crafter, myself, and Crafty Chris, and guest. There's normally a guest on there. And then that brings us back around to Friday. So, hope I've covered everything, and you'll see another ticker there. You can find me on Twitter. I've got Instagram, and I've just set up a page on LinkedIn as well. Please come and check me out and follow me on those platforms, as well as give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel as well. It'd be really appreciated. I was really hoping to get 1,000 subs by the end of 2022. So, really hoping that's going to happen. We're only in March, so we've still got quite a way to go. But if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and showing your support. That is it from me. I think I've covered everything. I'm just going to go through the last bit of chat. Ian says, see you all soon. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you, Ian. Dave McBill says, great stream. Horlixs. D. Harris says, night, Ian Campbell. Wayne says, did a mock-up. Very happy with it. Just waiting on the aviation connectors. Thank you for your help. No worries at all. And I'm glad. I'm really humbled that people like this mod and are giving it a go. It's great. So, thank you so much. Ian Campbell says, night, D. David Bassett says, thanks, Horlixs. My build has been on hold for some time. I have all the issues, so I wanted to do these mods. If you can let me know where to splice it, it'd be most grateful. Yeah, no worries. I will try and find out for you as soon as possible and let you know in one way or another. D. Harris says, Ian Campbell, stay well, man. Yeah. And David Bassett says, well done, Horlixs. Great live stream tonight, and thank you for all your advice. No worries. Thank you very much. I'm going to go because I think Dave was planning to go live at 8. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for all this chat. It's been amazing. So until next time, see you soon, and goodbye.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light